Yo guys, what's up and welcome back to the Marvelous Chats Podcast. This is episode 56. Tonight we're going to be talking about Moon Knight and a bunch of other crazy news from the week. If you're listening to us on Spotify, hit the follow button, turn on the notifications. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay guys, tonight on the cast we got Hoffman, we got Zaberwolf, and myself, Finto. And I'm going to bring the guys in now, give them a warm welcome. Here they come.
Ate up like
Yo, what's up, fellas?
The stuff that I'm running. Oh.
Hey, what's up?
Every week when I start, I can always hear you guys talking, and it's like you just like abruptly stop. It's like, oh shit, here we go. It's starting.
Oh, you catch us. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think it's funny. Makes me laugh every time.
He was just showing off his new processor and all the RAM he got for his newest build he's putting together for his PC.
Well, show everybody.
Look at the design of this.
Look at that box, man.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's so pretty.
I remember the box that mine came in was kind of crazy. When I took the CPU, when I took the CPU out, it was in this like diamond-shaped box.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. They always do kind of crazy shit. Like, nice.
Got like two sticks of solid state drives.
I have that in mine as well.
DDR5, buddy. I'm excited.
Ooh, let's go.
DDR5 is mine.
Let's go.
He's dancing.
That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. Guys, happy Easter, if that's a thing that you celebrate, or if you just eat chocolate. It's also a happy day, so...
Happy Easter, buddy.
I never know what to say, because I know, like, you know, in my country, it's a predominantly, like, Catholic country, so, like, we all kind of celebrate the same shit, whereas, you know, like, there's not too many, like, Jewish people, for example, in Ireland, so, like, you know, you can always say, like, Merry Christmas, like, or Happy Christmas, like, whereas I know in America, a lot of the time they say Happy Holidays just in case someone isn't like, Christian or whatever, you know, so, yeah. Did you guys have a good day?
Like, yes. Dude, when I grew up and my grandma, she used to get mad when people would say it like Xmas.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Grams, calm down.
Alex, your cam is looking a little extra crispy today. It's looking good.
Oh, baby.
I'm trying not to mess with any of the settings, and it does this automatically for me. So
okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Logitech.
Yeah,
I know, right?
GG's Logitech. What was the week like for you guys? Again, I feel like we don't talk too much anymore, just with the new schedules and stuff.
It's been so busy.
Good week. I got let me try and do this very carefully. Yeah, this side. I found out there was a lot of blue flags all over my yard and spray paint all over the street. And I was like, what is going on? And then I came home and they have this on my door. It's AT&T fibers being installed.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
We got a fiber installation here at the house.
Let's go, bro. So
They're
putting the lines down in your neighborhood at the moment, are they?
Yeah, they're going to have to dig up the whole street. They're digging up the yards. They don't want to hang them up top because it's Florida. It's like hurricanes. Oh, that's why we lose power and internet all the time, is because of the overhead wires.
Yeah.
Right. So they're burying everything, and they're going to have to tear up the whole street.
Yeah, no, fiber's got to go underground, bro. It has to.
Yeah. And the dogs are probably going to be going nuts for a while.
It'll be worth it.
It's going to be bad.
It'll be worth it.
Yes.
See the 1 gig up and down. Just see the end game.
Dude, I have Spectrum right now. I am dropping them so quick. I'm talking day one. Like when they're installing it, I'm like, hey, let's not waste time. You guys are here. Let's turn it on, man.
Yeah, you want to come inside? Hook me up. I got some lemonade.
Come on in.
For my week, just been a lot of work, starting up with the team, doing a new project. So I'm excited to launch some stuff pretty soon.
Nice, dude. That's great.
Ooh,
that's great.
What about you? What's your week like, Finto?
I only worked on Monday and Tuesday.
What?
Sorry, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I took some time off because we get Good Friday off. And then we have obviously today, because Easter Sunday falls on a Sunday, we get the Monday off, so it's like a bank holiday Monday. So I wanted to kind of turn it into a week off if I could, so I booked off a little bit of time before and after. So I ended up getting 6 days in a row off, and I only used 2 days of my like vacation time. So it landed pretty nicely. So
Had a brand new job.
I know, yeah.
Jeez.
I know. Well, like I've got 22 or 23 days to take throughout the year, and I don't really have many plans for the summer or anything like that. So like I have a wedding to go to in September, but it's actually in Dublin, so like, and it's on a Saturday, so I don't even need to take any time off work for that. And so like, and we're not planning on like leaving the country this year, so you know, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take these days. I was feeling a bit tired, and I was like, I want to kind of try and get 6 like fucking 10-hour sleeps a night and see, can I kind of finally kick this fucking cough that I have. And I haven't.
Yeah.
I've coughed once today, so it'll be gone by Tuesday, I'd say, completely. Yeah. So
That's great, man.
oh dude, I just have to get rid of it. It's been driving me insane. You know, I've been nearly like worrying about it. It's been that bad. You know what I mean? Like my girlfriend's like, you need to go and get an X-ray done under your chest or something like that. Like, you know, this could be something to do with COVID, like that you got in December. Like, so I'm just like, I'm bollocks. I'm just so tired. I'm working hard. I'm fucking doing streaming. I'm doing everything. I'm only getting like 5-6 hours sleep most nights. I'm just like, I just need time off to just rest. My body just needs to just rest. So I'm like six in a row, and I should be good.
That's great though. I mean, I don't know if you have I don't know if you have asthma at all, but like with me, I'm just constantly in trouble with the coughs. Like it's nonstop, especially with this weather. It's nuts, man. It was nice and sunny like for the last week, and then for all of a sudden it hit. We got snowstorm, and it's like, what the hell is going on here? And I know Flood was dealing with that too.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah, because you're kind of close to Flood now with where you moved. Like, you guys are not that far away, I don't think, because I know where Flood lives.
Yeah.
I got the info.
The inside scoop.
Yeah, I got a cough now because I actually I have a real life job. I'm no longer one of the Lost Boys, and the office is so fucking dry that I just sit there and get like a little kennel cough all day. Like I need like a humidifier in front of me, man.
Yeah.
I might need that too, man. And then plus you're hanging out with other people now, and so
it's
because
gross.
of that, because of that, like
quick.
there's germs.
Yeah.
Do they at least have like wipes or anything? I heard that like if you're working in an environment, you should always have like sanitizer and wipes. That keeps you healthy.
I think they do.
How do offices work over there? Like, do you guys have like, we have like kind of sanitation rules and stuff like that? Like there has to be like glass borders up between desks, and you know, you can have no one sitting beside you or like directly in front of you. So like a pod of 4, there would only be 2 desks available.
Oh wow!
If that makes sense. So.
Nothing.
No, of course not.
Definitely not in Florida. Like, we're the Wild West. I can reach out and like touch the person next to me. He could cough in my mouth, no problem if he wanted to. And it's in a U shape. Like the way my new job's set up, it's like there's a row of computers on every wall, and then down the middle, it's like you got your sales team. So like everyone's just kind of on top of each other, right? And so yeah, there's no getting away from it. But a lot of people there do wear masks. Like. They mask up, and most of them kind of gotta have like young kids or newborns and stuff who are wearing masks. But that's about it. That's it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cul-de-sac.
It's a cul-de-sac. It really is, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, like it's just the office kind of life for me, because I don't go to like my company's office, but like I visit like client sites and stuff. And like some of them are just like so relaxed, they don't give a shit. Like there's people walking around, no one's wearing masks. And then like I was in like it's kind of like a bank, and they were like very strict, like, you know, put a mask on. I was like, I don't have one, like, because like we don't have to carry them by law anymore. So I'm like, I don't carry them on me, like. And they were like, oh, we'll get you one. I was like, all right, I have no problem wearing one. I just don't carry one with me anymore because it's not a legal requirement. So, yeah, it's definitely differs place to place over here on strictness.
I was always doing that. I was like, I would get all the way up to like a store or something, then I'd have to like scuttle back to my car real quick, like I forgot my fucking mask.
Yeah. During the winter, I had one in like my coat pocket, and like I zipped it up and just always left it there. You know what I mean? Just so that I always have one, even if it's only just to throw it on for a minute. But,
like it's like a hat. You always want to keep a hat in the car in case you need it.
True.
Yeah, I get jealous of the people who like, you know, like when people have like sunglasses and they'll put that rope on it so they can like hang it off their neck or whatever.
Yeah.
I seen people doing that mask, and I'm like, that's kind of embarrassing looking, but at the same time, it's like, that's very convenient. You'll never, like, you just hanging around your fucking thing. You're good.
It's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely.
If it ever kicks back up again, I'm going necklace, COVID necklace.
Jesus, bro, the thoughts of it kicking off again, like.
Oh man, dude,
scares me.
My job, whatever, we do a lot of our manufacturing in China, right? And they're locked down fully. They've been locked down for like 2 weeks, and I just hear all the salespeople like, you know, hey, our factories in China are shut down right now. We can't. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, oh, here it comes, man. Like,
Yeah.
if it explodes there, it'll spread everywhere again.
Yeah, it's scary. Guys, let's talk about Moon Knight episode 3.
Woo!
Woo!
That was awesome. Just one of the most awesome episodes that I've had seen so far. I love everything. I loved everything about it.
They got it figured out. Yeah. Marvel figured out their Disney Plus formula. This is the first show that I feel like every week has gotten better, and I'm more excited about it. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, the pacing is great. They're showing off new aspects of his powers at a good pace. It's good, man. There still is more mystery left under the hood of this thing. It keeps like unfolding in front of us, and I can't believe they nailed it. Let's go, Disney. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
I really enjoyed it. I'm like, I watch a lot of like YouTube and stuff about keeping kind of ear to the ground on the Marvel content, and like there's some kind of, we'll call them the normies, but like there's some normies that are like, there's not enough action, there needs to be more action, I thought it would be darker, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, just fucking enjoy what you're seeing. Like, it's good. Yeah. It's really good TV. Man. Like storytelling is really good, and like we're dealing with like so much like psychological stuff that like it's obviously going to be a little more in their heads, if you know what I mean. So like it's I think it's pacing perfectly. It's really good. Did you notice as well? A lot of people are saying that they thought maybe there might have been the intro of a third personality at the start of the episode. Your man Jake Lockley. Yeah,
there has to be.
Yeah, 100%. I thought that was like, because I noticed it straight away. I was like, that's not Mark, and I was like, and it's not an English accent, so it's like, that's not Steven. So I noticed it straight away. I was like, wow, okay, so they're going third personality already. Did you guys notice as well during that chase scene through the city, there was a camera recorded. There was a like very right side of the frame. There's a fucking camera caught on screen. Oh, dude, so funny.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Even if it's like a screw up, it's just part of the scene now. Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
I mean, it speaks to how fast they're trying to turn these things around. That like, something like that, which I think an editor would catch that if they had time. But if you're trying to get this thing like done, you're gonna slip up.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of tough when you're holding the camera too, because they're running with them, and that's why you get that bit of shaky cam, and so you'll miss something. Eventually you'll miss something.
I think as well, like the scene was just a kind of standard chase scene. What are we looking at here? Oh, the tree.
This is a promo that we have seen before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that this is the third guy, right? Like they try to say this is Mark Spector, but I mean, that looks like a full-on new guy we haven't seen in terms of their outfit and how they style.
Yeah, I think you could be right there. Yeah.
It makes sense because like
Mr. Knight is Steven, right? And then Moon Knight is Mark. Yeah, I know.
And then he has that really serious face too. And Mark, although he is a serious guy, he's not that serious looking right now. He's just trying to get information. And so like seeing this face, it looks like this dude looks like he's ready to just punch someone.
Yeah, we're looking at Ezio Forenzo de Torre right here. he's ready to assassinate people and stab knives into kids.
And like we've been kind of like made to think this entire time that all of those flashes and all the brutal killing has been Mark, but it turns out it's probably going to be Jake, like, which is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
and
cool.
It's going to be a different take because in the comics, Jake Lockley is just a cab driver who's just trying to get information while he's throughout the town. And so if they change it to this, I think it'll be a nice take because they've already changed Stephen Grant. So why not change up Jake Lockley and have a different kind of spin of Moon Knight and all the personalities?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And like, it's great the way they're doling it out. The writer for the show is the guy who did Memento. And this definitely feels like one of those Memento style things where it's like, you think you know what's going on, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, there's a third personality under this hood.
Yeah.
Who both of the Oscar Isaac people are scared of. Like they're both scared of this other personality.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought it was really well done as well. The actor who died, I completely forgot that there was an actor in this show who passed away in real life,
right.
And it was the dude who was in this episode who was kind of wearing the silk robe or whatever, And it wasn't until a day or two later I was on social media and I saw, like, you know, people putting up like a RIP to him and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot that he fucking died. I haven't really looked up how many episodes he's in, but I presume we'll probably see him again in the show.
Yeah, his name was Gaspard Ulliel.
Yeah.
Man. And he was supposed to be playing Midnight Man.
Yeah. I know, dude.
Which would have been... I don't know how they're going to move forward with this, but I really hope that he got a good amount of episodes in, and hopefully they show some sort of costume with him. That would be really cool to show him like actually sporting a costume as Midnight Man.
Yeah.
And then just kind of giving a good send off. But you know, rest in peace, Gaspard.
Yeah, big time, bro. It's so sad. It's so sad. I think he was it like a skiing accident or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
He collided with someone, and you know, it's tough.
It's such a shame, bro. He's
rough.
a good looking dude as well, like, you know. Fuck. It's fucking so sad, bro.
It didn't even register with me because I remember we talked about that probably like, 15 casts ago or whatever. And it didn't even register with me that would be his character. So
I want to just kind of relay something. I'm not taking credit for any of this, but I'm going to relay something that I heard to you guys, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on it. But you know the scene where they're rewinding time and the skies?
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, like, I wonder, will this have any sort of, like, effects with, like, say, Strange's spell, for example, or, like, events that have happened, because they're technically turning back time. And, like, if maybe something could happen, like, with Strange's magic or something like that. But what do you think if, like, you know, that somehow links in with, like, No Way Home and shit like that? I think that'd be fucking pretty sweet, like.
Yeah, it might fit well. It might also, you know, give a good explanation as to why, you know, Adrian Toomes is in Morbius.
Oh god. Oh man.
I will say this, and like, first off, the effects on the whole rewinding thing was amazing, bro. Like that entire shot, the stuff they're doing with Khonshu, like he looks fucking dope, especially in this episode. I think it's our best look yet at him kind of being almost like a character in the show rather than just kind of a Zerber.
Yeah.
And I'm blown away by the way he looks.
Yeah.
This whole time deal, I'm sure you guys probably looked at the rumors or seen the Easter egg about Kang the Conqueror. When they're dealing with time, you're dealing with Kang, who knows about time, and they talked in the episode about Avatar who betrayed them. Like one of the first Avatars betrayed them. Who would that be? You know, fucking Pharaoh Ramatut.
Yeah.
He's part of it, man. Like, did you guys see the articles and the YouTube videos about the guy's jacket?
Yeah, and the jacket, it had like a symbol very closely resembling King Amatut.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just like that's a mind blown situation. Like that's a very subtle Easter egg that you would have to run at like 0.25 speed just to even look at that. So it like good job to the people who caught it early.
Mm-hmm. So you think they're really gonna go down the route if it's like maybe this is how Spider-Man gets back into the MCU in terms of people knowing?
I don't know. I like the idea of it. I think if they wanted to kind of reverse it now, part of me thinks that, you know, if you do that, especially so soon, I think that really just depletes the magic of No Way Home a bit. Like, you know, it's the impact of Peter's sacrifice is just fucking deleted. Like if like, you know, heroes and like MJ and Ned start remembering who he is or whatever, I just think that kind of just really just like diminishes the end of that trilogy and how strong the end of that trilogy was. Like I still get blown away thinking about how like amazing that film was and just how incredible like story wise it was to close out a trilogy. I don't think the MCU have closed out a trilogy like that kind of clean and crisp before, because if you think about it, you know, Iron Man 3 wasn't good, you know what I mean, and that was kind of the end of the Iron Man trilogies. Like, and then what else, like I know the Thor 3 wasn't really the end, like, but you know, Thor 2 wasn't good, and I think like it's not really a trilogy because obviously there's a fourth movie coming out, but you know the point I'm trying to make. But it's, yeah, I don't know, I would love to see it, but I think it's too soon for something like that to happen.
Yeah, you're saying that you know it's got its closure, give it time to breathe, you know, let people kind of like continue to remember that it's, you know, it's just Spider-Man now. It's not Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And so
well, I want to see a movie with Peter. I need to see what happens to Peter next. I want to see Peter alone, suffering, you know, solo, becoming the Peter Parker who needs to get a part-time job through college and he can't sleep and all this stuff. Like, and he's trying to juggle Spider-Man. Like, we have to see that from Tom Holland. Like, you know, I don't want it to just go back to the way they built this Homecoming trilogy into being a kind of different Spider-Man story, you know?
Right. Yeah. But like he's still going to college. So at the very, like, you know, he could still be studying and at the same time, like even get a pizza job just as a callback to the Tobey Maguire movies. And, you know, that would be really fun. But yeah, like, yeah, I would love to see Peter Parker kind of as himself. I know we saw him a little bit in Far From Home, but I felt like that didn't really count, you know, because you had a lot of Mysterio and a lot of like, you know, things going on in the middle. Yeah. But yeah, like I totally agree with that. Like I would love to see Tom Holland at, you know, did he get into MIT? I forgot if he was able to get in.
I don't think he did.
No, I know he's because isn't there like a GCSE book or whatever it's called, or GCSAs or whatever you guys call it, kind of like community college book that they show on his bed at the end of the film. So I think he's got to go to community college to try and get into a college or something like that. I think that's the kind of story they're telling. But I presume he wouldn't even need to actually attend a class because he's so smart that he could probably just like do some exams or something and then just be done with community college straight away, like just like leapfrog it straight away. You know, you can't put someone as smart as Peter Parker into a community college.
Wow, easy.
Well, like
we have proud community colleges here. Okay, proud.
It's really messing with that bell curve.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that they would undo the work from Spider-Man, but like you bringing that up kind of really does drive home for me the idea that even Doctor Strange could make an appearance in Moon Knight. Like I know we're talking about Blade and we've talked about Black Knight. You know, those are all kind of Midnight Sunsy like characters that could absolutely make an appearance. But, you know, now that we're getting into cosmic stuff and Fabric of the Universe stuff with the time getting rolled back and, you know,
TVA
moving the moon. Yeah, right. You know, we're moving the moon to have eclipses like that. That is some Doctor Strange territory. Absolutely. And I could definitely see Strange showing up in this for a cameo of some sort. We know they had a plan for Wanda. We know they want Strange to kind of start being the Captain America of this phase where everything kind of runs through Doctor Strange, right? He's kind of like the anchor for everything. And so I could absolutely see him showing up in this show at the end and next episode. Like he totally would fit. And it's Benedict Cumberbatch who will do TV. He doesn't mind. Yeah. He likes doing TV. He's done Sherlock before. He does other work. Yeah. I would love to see him interact with Oscar Isaac this early because I think Khonshu and Moon Knight and Doctor Strange, like I could just see those scenes. Yeah. Like that would be wild.
Dude, like
what about
the rewind as well? Just another point to put in your heads. The rewind would definitely alert the Avengers. 100%.
Right.
Banner's going to look at that and go, what's going on? Like, you know, just like the 10 Rings. It's like, we need to investigate Moon Knight. Like, we need to see what the fuck is going on here.
Right. And then I was also thinking, though, instead of Doctor Strange, they've been really taking a look at Wong. Like, you see Wong in Shang-Chi. You've seen Wong in No Way Home. And although it's, like, very brief cameos, it's like, what is Wong doing? Like, what exactly is he doing, like, behind closed doors? Because as of right now, he is the Sorcerer Supreme.
He's the Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, you're right.
So good, dude.
So, like,
he's
you know,
yeah,
but at the same time, because Doctor Strange is not tied as a Sorcerer Supreme, he's free to roam. So that still gives the incentive that maybe he'll go investigate. Maybe Bruce will go down there and be like, "What the hell is going on?" You know, you never know. And I would love to see like some sort of like special guest. And I know, Finto, you mentioned before that episode 4 is probably going to drop a bomb.
Yeah. There's a bomb coming on Wednesday, guys. Get fucking ready. Strap in, baby. It's coming. Yeah. It's going to be wild.
I'm ready. And dude, like Moon Knight and this Egyptian kind of mythology stuff they're building is very quickly becoming like one of my favorite parts of the MCU, especially after last episode where we had like the avatars for all the gods meeting inside of the pyramids. Like that scene was just wild. Yeah. And I feel like that type of a set, like we're going to have a fight scene there. There's no way they make a set like that and just leave it for one scene. Facts. We're coming back to that. Like we got to do something cool there. And if this episode has anything to do with it, like we just saw Moon Knight getting like shanked like 5 times with spears and still fighting. Like
that was so cool.
It's just great. And that really kind of showcases where like Disney Plus is going to take violence. It's like, yes, we will show someone getting stabbed with a spear. For some reason, there's no blood. Gotcha. But, you know, we are going to stick large objects through people, and that's just the future. Like, come on, Blade. Let's go.
Yeah.
Dude, how cool was that, though? Like, he stabbed him, and he goes, I'm just going to take you and stab you with me.
Yeah, that's some like Deadpool vibes, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Love it. Fucking.
Do you want to see on screen the Easter egg for the Pharaoh Ramatut?
Yeah. I did see a picture of it. I didn't read the article though, but yeah, please throw it up there.
All right, here we go. Let me share this. I came prepared today. Look at me.
Look at you. I love to see it, brother.
Yeah, it's great.
Go live there. There we go.
All right.
All right. So this is the scene to anchor it for you. It's the scene where like the guy like cuts himself off, right? Mm-hmm. Or cuts his scarf away. On the back of his jacket, there is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the Pharaoh symbol, and then it matches Pharaoh Ramatut right here, who is King the Conqueror. It's got the shape of the helmet. It's got the purple and the teal coming off of it.
Oh my god.
And that's a closer look, side by side, right there, man.
So close, like closely related. I really hope it's true.
And the
so how does Kang get back there? I don't really know the history of this, like, because like Kang is obviously from the future, right? But he time travels, so
he goes back to like ancient Egypt, basically, and becomes a god king.
Gotcha. Amazing.
And this is from New Rockstars, who actually like dug around this, and they got from sources at Marvel that this is not a Ralph Boner. That them having that symbol on the back of the jacket and those colors was intentional. It's intentional.
I genuinely believe everything that they do is intentional. Like, you know, as much as the whole boner thing happened, like, I think there was something behind that, I think, as well. Like, you know, but I really think that everything that they go into such great detail because they know that people are going to watch 55 minutes of a TV show at a quarter speed to try and pick up every fucking thing. They know people are going frame by frame. So, yeah, like, I don't think anything is unintentional that the MCU do.
Especially with Wanda being in Doctor Strange's movie in such a huge way. I think the Ralph Boner was something that they had planned on doing, and like that being actually Quicksilver and it being a bigger issue. And then once they're filming it, they made the decision not to like bring in Doctor Strange, and so they had to roll back those scenes. They probably did some reshoots to make it work.
And they didn't want to introduce a mutant too early and so on.
Exactly. Yeah. And the producer Jean we are all like kind of raging against her. And she probably took some heat on it on purpose and was like, yeah, I'll take one for the team.
Yeah.
I'll make it look like I was just having fun.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, I see it.
I mean, but the show WandaVision itself to the grand audience, to the majority, they did like it. So of course they might be pulling stuff from that a little bit later as well. Like it's not, you know, it's not like it with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier where it was okay. Like they'll actually probably take stuff from WandaVision and showcase it later. So even though we saw Ralph Boner, we might see him again. Yeah. You know, just as another joke.
Yeah, absolutely. There was even rumors of Aaron Taylor Johnson, the one from the MCU, the guy who's going on to play Kraven. There was rumors of him even reappearing somewhere, potentially in like Doctor Strange or something like that. And I think that would be cool too. Why not?
Could you imagine that's what sets Wanda off?
Yeah, he dies. Yeah. He dies again or something.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh man, like guys, we're only like 3 weeks away from Multiverse of Madness. Like
comes out. Like we got our tickets.
The 6th, right?
I have tickets for the 5th. I got tickets for the 5th.
Same here.
Yeah.
I think I might. I got 2 sets of tickets. I got tickets for opening night, where I got like the butt kicker seats, which is where I saw Batman in, where like the seat rumbles and stuff, which made Batman like one of the best movie experiences I've been to. And then later on that weekend, on a Saturday, I got tickets to a 3D IMAX showing.
Oh, nice!
Oh man,
I
full
typically
experience.
And I typically don't like 3D stuff, but it's the last IMAX 3D thing I saw was Avatar, and I remember that being amazing because it's IMAX and it's like you're in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go.
This movie will be an absolute spectacle. Like, you know, it's going to be a stunning film to watch. So yeah, I think I'm in the exact same boat as you, Hoffman. I don't like 3D, but if something feels like it's going to be worth seeing in 3D, I might do it, but not for my first watch of it. I think I'll go see it in 2D IMAX for my first showing, and then I really might try and go see it on Saturday as well, again, just so that I've seen it twice before the podcast, because that episode of the cast, we are going to go deep on that film. Spoilers everywhere. It's going to be crazy. I won't be able to contain myself. There's no way. No way.
One of the big.
Go on, sorry.
No. One of the big speculations I've had, though, is how much of the movie do you think they're actually going to be very serious about, and how much of the movie do you think they're actually going to have a ton of jokes about? Like, I know that this is very much big room to show a bunch of like really awesome things that we've been waiting for, to show things that we never expected, and things that are just going to be like, you know what, big middle finger, like we just wanted to make fun of things. Like how much of that, what percentage do you think will be there?
I would say that we're gonna get Josh Whedon levels of humor in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse, and I say that because it's Sam Raimi who's the director, and if you go back and you watch Spider-Man, it's a very campy movie. It's a very joke-heavy movie. He's not shying away from jokes and humor at the expense of anybody. Villains, superheroes, like he goes for it. He wants to make things have fun. It's like, remember the scene with Spider-Man where he's going to have dinner with Mary J, and it's just a whole joke scene. So I expect stuff like that to happen. I know Sam Raimi said he's making it more like a horror stuff, so maybe it's a bit dialed back, but I still expect a lot of humor.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think there's going to be a good bit of humor, and I think the humor will lie in the cameos. So, you know, we'll get like a Deadpool cameo, and it'll be funny. It'll be something crazy. Like, he'll be like, what the fuck? Where am I? What am I doing here? Like, you know, bit of fourth wall breaking. I think the original director before Sam Raimi came on wanted to make the movie a horror film. So I guess that a lot of the movie is going to be very serious. And even just from the footage that we've seen, all the rumors that we've heard, everything, you know, the movie does feel like it's going to be one of the more serious movies of the MCU. But I think the MCU still has to have comedy in there. Like, you know, they really do, and I think they will.
Yeah, we can't have Evil Dead proportions of Sam Raimi. We have to have like a bit of a mixture of like, it's still a Disney Marvel movie, you know, keep it down.
Yeah, true. Have you guys got any predictions for, just to kind of swing back to Moon Knight a bit? Any kind of predictions what you think might be the big kind of twist or crazy thing that's going to happen next week?
I would say my big twist that I'm predicting is the god that Arthur Harrow is worshiping is actually going to be Kang the Conqueror.
Oh my god.
That is what I'm...
That would be really interesting.
Like, we get his reveal and it's Kang. Like, how fucking crazy.
Hell yeah, dude. That'd be fucking amazing.
Like, think about the god that he's worshiping, where it's like, they look at your whole life and then they judge you based off that. And like, what is Kang doing? He's at the end of everything, being able to judge everything everyone's done. And like, I think those are two parallels right there that we can kind of pick up on, that they might be the same person.
Imagine the TVA scooped up Mark Spector for like reversing time.
Yes,
that'd be kind of cool. Like, you know,
Loki just shows up.
Yeah. Or Owen Wilson. I'd love Owen Wilson to pop in. Like, wow. I like what you did with the sky there. Wow.
You know, that's a violation of TVA.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go I'm gonna do a ballpark and say that Amit is actually like a representation of Lady Death, and we actually finally get, you know, Mistress Death in, and I think that would be so amazing because she is a god. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, buried deep within, you know, like, and it's all death related. So, and she's a judge of death. Like, she, you know, she's with Thanos most of the time, and Thanos is trying to court death and whatnot. And that would be a great way to introduce another god, because as of right now, you know, we have the Asgardians, you know, which they're kind of on New Asgard right now, but we've had those Norse gods, and then we have the Egyptian gods, and eventually we're going to get the Olympian gods. So like, what if we get the chaotic gods?
Yeah.
That That would be something crazy.
I love it.
That would be interesting because, Lady Death and Thanos storyline is still hanging out there unused. And so if they put Lady Death in a show like this, then one of the Avenger level bosses or, villains coming down the line, they could, kind of riff off of Thanos storyline. And, instead of Thanos, like it's King or something, or maybe it's Doctor Doom. And like that's the reason. Like whatever it is, there's a villain out there that they could use that storyline and just replace Thanos.
Yes. That would be so fantastic. Imagine like when they finally bring Deadpool in and Deadpool courts death, like in the comics. It pisses off Thanos so much, and I love it.
That's fucking amazing, dude. I love it. Yeah, I don't know what I like the idea of Banner showing up because he seems to be kind of the Nick Fury of the moment, kind of investigating crazy things that are going on Earth and trying to recruit some new Avengers. So I think it would make a lot of sense for Banner to show up and just be like, hey, Mark Spector, what's the story? Like, tell us about Conchi, what the hell's going on? Like, and he already knows, because he's so smart. Like, and he kind of knows what the hell's going on. I think that'd be a really cool one. And I don't think a lot of people would expect to see Banner show up in the show, I think that'd be a really good one. I heard people talking as well about like potentially Ethan Hawke's character Harrow could, like, imagine it turned out that he was like Dracula the whole time or something like that, and then they kind of brought in the whole Blade thing as well and linked vampires with Moon Knight. I think that'd be obviously trying to get it lined up with the source material. I think it would make a lot of sense. So that could be something crazy because, like, if people are saying there's a crazy twist, and I love the Kang idea, is amazing. But maybe if they did a vampire twist, I think that could be really fucking cool as well. So yeah,
I'm always down for vampire twists.
There's like there's so many like options. Like there's so many ways they can go with it. Like it's crazy. Yeah, love it.
Well, and then as of right now, we are doing what I thought was going to happen, which is like a chapter kind of system. We had 2 episodes of Stephen Grant, and then the transition from Stephen to Mark, and now we might be getting the transition from Mark to Jake. Yeah. And then we see like the chaos because as of right now, Khonshu's not available, which means that he doesn't necessarily have the powers right now. So he's going to need someone tough to come out and help fight.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested to see if Khonshu like is talking with Jake. Like is Jake also an Avatar? And like Khonshu's been messing with Mark Spector, knowing that there's all this other stuff going on, and he's lying to Mark when he's been working with Jake too behind the scenes. I think that'd be a cool twist also.
Yeah, didn't they mention something in the episode about Khonshu knowingly using Mark because of his mind being broken and wanting to take full control? So I wonder, is Khonshu looking to take full control of Jake and the other 2 don't even know about it? Like,
Yeah, and that'd be really interesting, especially too that like he could just be messing with Mark altogether as well because of the fact that he's already said that Layla is supposed to be the next candidate for Moon Knight. So I mean, driving him insane to the point where like he's going to surrender himself for good and just remain the Fist of Khonshu.
Yeah, I want to see flashbacks to Ethan Hawke as Moon Knight. I want to know when it happened, cool. Like where in the MCU they are, or like whatever, because obviously there was a Moon Knight knocking around before this, kicking ass. Like, so I'd love to see a flashback to that. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Can you imagine though, like later on, Amit comes back to life and kind of resurrects that Moon Knight persona within Arthur, and then but like it mixes together and they kind of do like a new spin on Shadow Knight, and you see like the moon's eclipse on the crest. Yeah. And then he's just like this just deranged kind of like I will kill whoever I want kind of persona because it's like I want to take them out beforehand.
Man.
Love it. And
this most exciting MCU series yet, bro.
Right.
To be honest, I'm getting like real kind of WandaVision vibes off this one, like where everyone's kind of speculating and stuff like that, and that's what it needs. And it's strange. It's strange that, especially after kind of this week's episode, it's quite strange that this show isn't picking up a lot more kind of traction with creators and people who do podcasts and stuff like us. Like, like there's still not that many people kind of making content on this show, and I think it's kind of fucking crazy, you know. Like, I know, like, shout out to Den of Nerds. Like, I watch his stuff all the time, like, and he's a big fan of this show. But, like, I don't see very many other people apart from him kind of covering this. Like, it's crazy. I don't get it, like.
Yeah, I know, like, New Rockstar and Screen Crush, they're always there for the best MCU stuff, you know, like the breakdowns. But other than that,
yeah,
it's like it's not getting all this hype. And I think people have just felt a little underwhelmed and burnt by the MCU on Disney Plus. Not that the shows have all been terrible, but, you know, they've been largely way more missed than hit. And I think people are kind of like, oh, okay, well, you know, it's just another Disney Plus show. It's just another show that doesn't have a lot of consequences to their overall MCU.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe because of the fact that we've been given too much content that was like okay, that they're kind of just expecting this to just be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think something like really, really crazy needs to happen, and then people need to be talking about it, and then that will entice more people to be like, okay, shit, I need to check out the rest of this series. And I think that's what they're going to do now with episode 4. They're going to do something crazy, like bring an Avenger in, or bring Kang in, or bring Blade in, or something wild is going to happen, and everyone's going to, like, the internet's going to explode, and it's going to, everyone's going to be like, fuck, and the second half of that season is going to be wild, and everyone's going to be tuning in for it, I think. I really think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and they need the Disney Plus shows to have consequences in the MCU movies. And the closest that we've seen so far is one, like, Sam Wilson becoming Captain America.
Yep.
But it's like he was already Captain America before we got a show, right? Like, so whatever.
True, technically.
And then 2 is Wanda coming over to multiverse, and they're even showing in the trailer. It's like, hey, whatever happened to Westview, I'm not here for that. Yeah. That's the closest we've gotten. Other than that, there's been no consequences from these shows in the MCU, and that's not great.
Not yet, anyway. But yeah, I know.
Right.
I know what you mean.
Sure.
Like, Kang obviously is coming, and that was kind of introed in Loki, but yeah, like, yeah,
they you're right.
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
There's not enough tragedy that we've seen in these TV shows yet. It's always that, you know, the hero makes out the winner, and that there's not really much else that they can do besides, like, show that they won. And the I would say that Loki was the only one that actually, like, dealt with failure, but it didn't feel good enough. Like, it felt like it should have been like a total failure, and it just felt like, oh man, get ready for another adventure. And I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, and there's even talks now of, like, I think the second season of Hawkeye is up in the air if they're even going to do one or not. And until people get a second season of any of these shows, I think it's going to be hard for people to invest in them.
Yeah.
Because if you're not making them consequential to the MCU yet, and if it comes, it comes. But if till then, they're not. And so if they're not getting a season 2 either, then it feels like they're not investing. Like, that's the whole point of the MCU, why it's so popular. It's like the things you watch matter years and years and years down the road.
Yeah.
One thing I would really like to see in terms of the scheme for Marvel shows and Marvel movies is that they should really play it out similar to the comics. Like, what if this is just a TV show and we see, like, some good stuff, but it's like the comics of, like, everyday life. You know, you get a couple issues here and there and not really much is going on. It's just them, you know, fighting crime.
One shots, bro. That's what these shows should be. They should be one shots.
And then you get something like, you know, imagine you do Planet Hulk or World War Hulk. That's a movie. That's where you got your movie. So I would love to see them do, like, everyday stuff for, like, shows, and then, like, do a big movie for, like, their big comic debut stuff.
Yeah. You're 100% right. Like, they need big crossovers. They need them.
They do. That's what built the universe. Like, you know, that's what built the popularity. And, you know, do a 6 episode series, like series with fucking Blade and Punisher or something like that, like, and everyone would just go absolutely fucking wild for it. Like, you know, they do one big mission together. It's a 6-part. It's a one shot. It's like a comic book run. You know what I mean? They do they do a 7 episode comic book run or a 7 issue run with, like, you know, fucking Steve Rogers and Wolverine or something, and then it's like they go their separate ways. It's like, see you in the next big Earth crisis, like, you know. You know, it's like, why are they not doing this? Like, it's such easy wins, like.
Yeah, because imagine like seeing the show with, like, Punisher and Blade, and it's like, so how do you want to infiltrate this shit? We go in and we bust them in, we just shoot them down, like, no. And then you see Blade like, I like the way you think. And they just go and do it.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting.
I'm really
close my eyes there for that.
Yeah, yeah, I was there. Yeah. Do you think that there could be potentially some like real world stuff that's getting in the way? Like, I wonder, are there like people that are on the roster right now, actors and actresses that are on the roster right now that are still working through older contracts that don't include TV or something? And then maybe that might be why there's not as many crossovers as we would hope.
I could totally see that being a real thing. You were completely right.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe, like, hey, if I show up in Moon Knight, that counts as one of my appearances on my contract.
Yeah.
And Kevin Feige's like, nope, no, it does not. You're not coming here.
Because, like, I think, like, with, like, newer people that they're bringing in, I think maybe it would obviously... They would obviously get newer contracts, or maybe, like the likes of Elizabeth Olsen, maybe they're renewing her contract to include TV, obviously because they gave her a series, but she's able to bounce back and forth. But maybe that's why someone like Chris Evans doesn't appear on TV, because it's like, it's not part of my contract. I'm not doing it, or
that, or it's too expensive. Like just taking minutes with them just to show up for a bit, like it could be really expensive. And that's why I say, like, if for any characters that wear a cowl that don't show their face, just do a voice acting, and that probably costs a bit less than having them actually show up. Like I don't care if I don't see their face. Yeah. I just want to see the character come in,
of course,
and actually interact with people like that we've seen them interact with in the comics.
I used to say this about Iron Man all the time. It's like, get Robert Downey Jr. on the phone, get him to record a couple of lines, or even just have like Jarvis talking and just have the suit shooting by and all this sort of shit. Like, it's just such easy wins to just bring in that connective tissue that we all just crave.
Mm-hmm.
Man, these new actors are fucked. Disney's gonna own their ass, bro.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like, and especially, like, the rumors have been around for a while now that like Chris Evans has signed on again for more appearances, and a good video I watched actually just the other day was that they think that, some people are out there saying like they think that maybe Hydra Cap could be appearing in Doctor Strange 2 and stuff, and I'm like, I was like, I could see it. I could definitely see it. I would almost at this stage be shocked if I didn't see Chris Evans in this movie. I really would. Like, I whether it's Johnny Storm, whether it's Steve Rogers, whether it's Hydra Cap, there's so many like great little opportunities to bring him back for a couple of scenes, and I would just be really shocked if it wasn't him. Like, if he wasn't one of them,
Yeah, because I could totally see Hydra Cap, because I don't see where else they would get Chris Evans back, because like he doesn't want to come back for Captain America roles. There's never gonna have a storyline where they do a whole movie about Hydra Cap. Like, it just doesn't feel like it's in the cards. So this would be a perfect opportunity to show us Hydra Cap, have him there for like 5-10 minutes, and then he's on his way.
Yeah, like they kick him back into the portal that he came out of.
Yeah. I love the idea of like a Dark Avengers versus kind of like the current Avengers of the time, whoever they will be in like say 5 years or something. But I think that'd be a really cool idea if you wanted to bring back like people like Scarlett Johansson and Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that. You bring in like an evil team of Avengers, like a Dark Avengers team or something, and it's all just variants, like evil variants of the original 6 or something like that. I think that'd be just fantastic. And then it's kind of like what X-Men did, like Fox did with X-Men. It's like bringing two casts together. It's like, you bring back all the nostalgic the original 6, but they're evil this time, but then they get to share the screen with whoever the new guys are. I think that'd be fucking fire, bro. Fire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very like got Civil War vibes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I would also like. I wonder if we'd ever get to see like the Avengers versus the Thunderbolts. Those are all like that they're putting in. That'd be another cool avenue that I could totally see. Because once again, it's like, what are the Avengers doing? Exactly. Give me some Avenger stuff.
Exactly. The Avengers need some work. They're getting bored.
I know. Now that Tony's dead and they all got the checks coming, they're like, yeah, we're fine. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Val in a long time either. Like, what happened with that whole schema? Like that thing should have been consistently casted.
Val should have
we
showed
got to
up
see
in
her.
Hawkeye. She should have shown up in Hawkeye.
Yes.
They should have
Yeah.
they should have had another scene with her and Yelena talking to each other.
Yes.
100%.
Like, oh, it's like, oh, so you had a like soft heart or something like that, and then they have a conversation about, and then they show another target, and it's like, I would love for it to be just someone that we haven't seen yet, but it's a character in the comics.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, I'd be game for that.
That's how it is. Like Val's like, I need you to investigate something about. I guess we have some vampires hanging around here, and then they show a picture and it's Blade.
Yeah, or like She-Hulk or something like that.
Yeah.
Just link it in with something that we know is coming, or Echo, or fucking Wilson.
Jessica Jones.
Just drop in like Wilson Fisk or something, like anything, like Matt Murdock, like like we know he's coming, so it's like this guy's like, but people have been watching this guy. He's got some suspicious kind of shit going on. I literally just finished watching Daredevil just before I started streaming tonight. So I watched season 1, 2, and then I watched Defenders, and then I watched season 3. So I wanted to kind of just follow the whole Matt Murdock story. I might watch the 2 seasons of Punisher next, maybe, but I wanted to just follow Matt and just, bro, like I have to say, like, the more I watch that show, I've rewatched that show like 3 times now from start to finish, and I genuinely believe that it's the best comic book TV that we have ever gotten. It is just, from start to finish, so fucking good. And I've seen seasons 1 and 2 more than I've seen 3. I think I've only watched 3 twice now from start to finish. Bullseye's just incredible. Your man who plays Dex is just so good. I love the storyline with Dex and everything. It's just mind-blowingly good. Like, I just cannot get over how good the whole fucking series is. And I read an article during the week, I can't remember who posted it, but they were saying that what they think is actually happening is when we see Daredevil next, it's literally after the events of season 3 of Daredevil. So it's like gonna literally just take off like from where they're going, and that's kind of why they're labeling it as Daredevil season 4. But bro, I cannot wait to see more. I just can't wait to see at the MCU get their hands on these characters. It's just gonna be fucking amazing. Oh my god, I love it.
Well, now I'm curious, like, how the hell did they make such a fantastic show as Daredevil, and even like the second best, which would be Punisher, and then they just fall short with like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist, and even the Defender. Like, those are 4 shows that they just dropped. I don't know, like, how?
To be very honest, right, the Defenders is better than most of the Disney TV that we've seen. Like, it's better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's better than it's true though. It's true. I rewatched it and I'm like, this isn't bad. I was like, it was bad at the time because we were on such a high level with like Daredevil season 2 with the Punisher and everything. I was like, this is just fucking mind blown. And then like Jessica Jones season 1 was actually really, really good. But then like Luke Cage wasn't good, and Iron Fist wasn't good either. But you were still living in that kind of Daredevil bubble of just fucking pure excellence, like, and
right.
I think that
they set the bar so high.
They did, and people were just so disappointed with the Defenders after that. But like, if you go back and watch that show now, like Hoffman, if you did a rewatch of Defenders, I guarantee you'd like it more than the first time you watched it anyway.
I definitely, it's something I want to go back to, and I'm trying to look up like who. I think it's the Daredevil writers. I feel like they've done other stuff that were like, we really love their work.
Yeah.
And I think the Daredevil writers like fucking brought it.
Yeah.
And I think there probably were some producers on the Defenders. But you're right, like we were riding such highs coming off the series that like the Defenders just didn't work because not all of the pieces were as good as the others.
Exactly.
Like if they would have done the Daredevils inside, the Defenders, if they would have done that inside of the Daredevil series, it probably would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't have had to spend time on Iron Fist that much. They wouldn't have spent time on Luke Cage, who they didn't really, make work the best they could have. So like we would have gotten more Daredevil. And it was basically like Daredevil villains anyways, man. Like, it had to do with the fists and stuff. Like, it's just...
That's what I'm saying. It's Daredevil 2.5, really, like, because you're literally picking up right after the end of season 2 with Daredevil, and, like, Elektra comes back and she's the Black Sky and stuff. And, like, you're like, this is Daredevil. Like, it's a Daredevil story that just is a team-up movie as well. It's trying to introduce a team-up movie. But, yeah, it's Daredevil. And just the way I watched it was just so entertaining. Like I just followed Matt Murdock, like, you know, and it was fantastic. I didn't waste my time with any of the other bullshit. And then it was for me, it was kind of nice to see Luke Cage again, and kind of it's like I didn't mind some aspects of Iron Fist. I didn't like the actor who played Iron Fist, but I loved some of the supporting cast in that show. So like I'm like, it was kind of bringing back some nice memories and stuff. But yeah, I just loved it, and I just cannot wait for more. Matt
well, and then
Murdock.
if you think about it too, Finto, like Daredevil did what we've all been asking for, which is have someone from a different comic series come in and be part of this story. Like Punisher didn't have to be part of Daredevil in that series, and they made it work.
I'm so happy he was. He was incredible. Like season 2 of Daredevil, the intro of Frank Castle, like that whole story, the prison scenes, the court case. It's fucking mind blowing. And I'm watching it for the 4th time, and I'm like, I feel like I'm watching it for the first time. Like I'm just so invested in the story, and I know exactly what's going to happen. I know every episode, but I'm just still watching it like a child for the first time. You know, it's just magical, bro. And like every episode, it was written by somebody different, was directed by somebody different, but the whole thing just runs smooth as one fucking show. You know, like there's so many shows out there that it's like, and like Star Wars is a prime example of this. Every episode of the show feels like a different fucking show because it's like there's different writers, there's different directors. It feels like a different vision completely. Whereas this is just like, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't even need to read who's writing and directing these episodes because the story is so set. It's on its track and it's ready to go. It doesn't matter if there's like a bad director comes in and directs one bad episode of the show because you can't see it because the overlying story is just so strong. It's so strong. There's such a clear vision that you can't mess it up. And that's just that's something Star Wars need to figure out big time because, you know, like, and the Boba Fett show was the prime example. Like, it's like episode 1, not good. Episode 2, different director, different writers, great. Episode 3, different director comes in, pure shit. Episode 4, different director, okay, it's getting better. And then it's like 5 and 6 are just Mandalorian. And then 7, it's like the worst director comes back. And again, it's shit. Like, you're like, this is just shocking. Like, it's like, how is it not just one direct show? Like I don't understand.
I'll never forget that 360 spin, man.
I will never either. It haunts my dreams to this day, bro. It haunts me. Fucking haunts me.
Yeah. I think it's really just a difference too between Kathleen Kennedy's management style versus Kevin Feige. Where Kevin Feige seems like he's very hands-on and like, hey, this is what I want, this is how it's gonna be, this is MCU. Kathleen Kennedy is like a little bit like, you know, I'm gonna let the directors and like do their own thing and put their own spin on it, and then those directors run up against the Lucasfilm story group, whatever, and those people fuck around with it. And like I don't think Kathleen Kennedy has like as strong of a hand as we give her credit for. And there's like no unified vision. Either she has a strong hand and she doesn't want to apply it, or she doesn't have that strong of a as big of a swing at Lucasfilm as we think, and people can kind of walk around and do whatever they want. Because there is no reason for Star Wars to feel as inconsistent as it did in Boba Fett. Like, you're right. Like, every episode felt like it was a brand new director. And I know we get a little bit of that in The Mandalorian, but it was, like, dramatically different in the Boba Fett shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of episodes of Mandalorian that are misses. Like, they don't hit. But you do feel like we're still telling the one story, whereas each episode of Boba Fett's felt like it was a director trying to fucking show off and be the best episode of the series. Like it just felt like 7 different stories. Like it was just ridiculous. Absolutely.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
one thing I want to know is, can you also blame the writer? Because I know, like, we love Jon Favreau, but you know, it was the story. Do you think the story was good enough, but the directors just really, you know, tarnished it? Or do you think Jon Favreau had a story and they were like, I got to figure out how to fix this, and it was just conflict?
I think if you're gonna try and blame somebody, I would nearly blame the writers more than the directing, because I think like if the script is there, the story's there, the dialogue is there, it's hard to kind of fuck it up. Like, you know, there's clear cut ways to direct, you know, like you have to shoot these scenes in a certain way, and yes, people have different flair and stuff, and people have an eye, but you know, I could probably, if I was given a page of dialogue and shown, like, given a scene, I feel like anybody could get the bare bones of a scene down. Like, you might, you know, need help with camera people and stuff like that, but I feel like, you know, it's like, okay, this page of dialogue, we've got like Luke Skywalker and fucking Ahsoka standing having a conversation about the old days or something. It's kind of hard to fuck it up, like, you know. So I would, if I'm blaming anybody, I'm blaming the writers.
Yeah, and you know, Jon Favreau is being pulled in a lot of different directions. Him and Dave Filoni, I'm sure their focus was on Kenobi because they know Kenobi has to be golden. That's the golden goose right there. And you know, it's like they wrote Boba Fett, put it in their back pocket, and sent someone else to go direct it. And I think they have to contend with like the director wanting to put their own spin on the story and the story that the writers wrote. Like the Vespa mods that all came from the director, Robert Rodriguez. Like that was his vision for it. And I think that sometimes you get strong directors who like, it's like, this is what I want to do. Everyone's just trying to be creative and be like, oh, that's a great idea. And then you're down the road and you see how it turns out. And you're like, well, we can't do anything now.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know, what are we going to do? This is our budget. We already spent it. Right. So we have to go with it.
Yeah. It's like, I wrote what I could to make it as easy as possible to direct this and make it a good scene. And you want to throw in some flash in there.
Yeah. And, you know, we even have interviews with Boba Fett, Tamar Morrison, where he's saying to the directors, like, hey, I don't want to say all these lines. Like, this is Boba Fett. He's supposed to be quieter. Yeah. He's supposed to be less communicative. And so they would call up Jon Favreau, and Jon Favreau's like, say the lines. You got to say the lines. You have to say the lines. Yeah. Like, so Fenton's right. It's like, it comes down to the writers in Favreau. You know, not everything, Favreau's not like the golden child. You know, look at Iron Man 3. You know, like Iron Man 2 also. He's not always been a hit. This is the guy who did Alien versus Cowboys. Sometimes they're misses.
Yeah. And like, so he had a golden run, and now that we're getting like little teeterings here and there, it's becoming apparent that he's not like the golden child anymore. Right. And so like, you know, they're probably going to try to go in different directions now. Yeah. And the whole thing with Tamara Morrison, that to me says that he didn't want to put his heart into it anymore.
You think?
Because when like, if you don't listen to the guy who's supposed to play the main character, who has played that character before and knows how to play that character, don't you think you should listen to that person?
Are we talking about Mark Hamill or Tamar Morrison now?
I don't know. Did Mark Hamill do his own spins?
No, but Mark Hamill classically even called it like Jake Skywalker because he hated how Rian Johnson was directing Luke so much.
He's very vocal about that, yeah.
Oh wow.
Very vocal. He said it. He outright said it in press tour interviews before the film even came out. He's like, "This is not my Luke Skywalker. Please be aware." They were like, he referred to him as Jake Skywalker, like, you know, and that was in the press tours for the fucking film. I'd say Disney were going crazy about that.
Yeah, yeah. And so, you know, and his heart probably wasn't into it after a while. Yeah, like he's a professional. He shows up, but you know.
But that's how you get fights on the set.
Yeah.
Because you have conflict of interest. But like, that's the thing. Mark Hamill has played Luke Skywalker for so long that like, to tell him to act in a different way that's not like becoming of Luke Skywalker is like telling you, screw you and all your time spent as that character. Be someone else.
Exactly.
Rian Johnson, he's such a bold director.
Yeah, I know. Christ. Do you guys have any news bits you want to talk about, or shall I rattle on with a few bits that I have?
I got something kind of cool.
Yes, please.
From the Batman.
Oh, talk to me.
This is not like a news bit, but behind the scenes. This was a grouping of potential Batman logos that the costume artist has drawn up for the Batman. And I thought it'd be cool there's like 24 styles of the Batman logo here that all could have been in the Batman, but we got, you know, probably the best one, honestly.
Let's go. That movie is, as Gabe said rightfully in the chat there, that movie's out tomorrow on HBO Max.
Hey, I am rewatching that immediately.
Yeah,
Same
I
here.
will too. So I'm getting a real Nightwing vibe off a few of these. Like the number 3
right.
Nightwing is fuck. Yeah, like some of these look like some of the logos that they've used for members of the Bat family already. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say number 6 is very like. It kind of reminds me of Batman Beyond a bit.
Yeah,
it's a bit sleek.
Yeah.
Nice look.
Yeah.
Yep. I think my favorite was like people were taking number 4 and placing it on people's faces like it was a mustache, which is just like.
It kind of looks like a pair of sunglasses as well, without the handles.
Number 7 too.
I like 13.
Yeah, 13 is cool actually.
Yeah,
I really like 15 also. I like the ideas of 15 and 8 because those actually look like bats while they're like diving and flying at you.
Yeah,
I really like that aspect of them versus like a bat who's just kind of like putting his wings out in front of you.
24 really feels like it's. I'd say they didn't go anywhere near that. It looks quite close to Ben's one.
Yeah,
So they're just like, we can't do that.
It's a bit too much.
Yeah. The worst part is this is like a Twitter thread that you can find if you do a little digging. And there are so many people who are like riffing this, like, what were they thinking with number 7? How could they? And I'm like, it's concept, man.
Yeah, of
There's
course.
24.
You got to throw everything out there.
And they didn't choose any of them. You know, like
you got to throw everything.
I cannot
out there,
stand. Yeah,
I would say that any of the ones that look like you can actually hold with your hand were probably like some of the choices that they wanted to go with at the end.
It feels like number 2 is close to what they went with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a mix between 2 and 3, because like they both kind of look like a gun a little bit.
Angular, yeah. Like they're just so much perfect symmetry going on to that angle.
Yeah.
13 and 16 look so close to each other. One of them like has the ears and one of them doesn't.
Yeah, true.
I really like
13 really gives me the vibes of like old school Batman, like almost 1960s for some reason.
I'm actually really liking 22 the more I look at it as well, down the very bottom left. Just the little tiny ears and stuff. Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I just thought it was cool. I was like, yeah, I like looking at this stuff, man.
Yeah, no, I do too, man. I love the whole filmmaking process. To me, it's just so fascinating that, you know, I'll sit and watch behind the scenes stuff and just eat it up. Like, I love it. So yeah. Shit like that is just incredible to me.
So I know that they've adapted Arthur Harrow and he's like a sort of prophet for Amit, or like the Avatar. Have you guys ever seen the original Arthur Harrow and what he looked like?
No, what's he look like?
So. I probably have actually, but I can't think of it right now.
He actually had a condition that like made the left side of his face like stiff.
Oh, okay.
And so like he was trying to figure out a way to fix that. And so he just he was trying to become this like mad scientist. So imagine like at the end of all this, and you see like Ethan Hawke's face just go like,
oh man.
I like it. Kind of Two-Facey vibes as well. Like, you know, like if they're trying to kind of compare DC and Marvel, like, because they do they copy each other like fuck all the time, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was kind of like them trying to do a Two-Face thing, you know.
And it totally makes sense. Like, you know, you got to have a Two-Face, you got to have, you know, a Joker and whatnot. And like, I'm pretty sure they're going to figure something out.
I love fucking 1960s Marvels or whatever, where it's like, yeah, half my face is stiff, so I'm going to destroy the universe because of it. What are they thinking?
It's like the same. Didn't they kind of people have come out recently about the 007 movies, and they're kind of throwing a bit of shade on them now. It's like, why does every one of your villains have like a facial deformity and stuff? Like, it's like, are you making these poor people out to be monsters and stuff, like, you know? And it's kind of true. Like, it's kind of why I don't really like the 007 stuff like too much, because I think it's all just very similar, and you know, it's always someone who's been burned or has some shit wrong with them, and then they're the ones that are just evil because of it, like, and they're trying to destroy the world because of it, like.
Yeah, I mean, but I understand it though. I got a squinty eye from my Bell's palsy, and I'm one day away from becoming an eco-terrorist. I'm there. One bad day.
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
Oh man. Just see Hoffman. He's like, heads or tails.
Yeah, heads or tails.
With the fake coin, but it's like heads on both. You make your own look.
Yeah.
playing the game. Love it. Absolutely love it. Few bits that I kind of heard during the week. I don't know if you guys were aware, but did you see the Gore the God Butcher leaks?
Yes.
No,
I did see those.
I did not yet.
Throw them up there, Alex, if you want to do a search for it. So basically, the story behind it is, again, more toy leaks, but basically they released a line of toys from the upcoming movie, the upcoming Thor movie, and on the side of the boxes you can clearly see pictures of the characters, so you get a good look at, there's a picture of Thor in his new suit, there's a picture of Valkyrie's new suit, like everything is just given away, and then they've got pictures of Christian Bale as Gore, and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people aren't liking it. So yeah, this is it. Like, yeah. So what is really cool is they have a toy for Star-Lord, so he must have a good role in that movie. And I don't know if you can see, there's other pictures of him. He's got like more of a beard and stuff. And the side picture of the Thor box on the right looks amazing. And there's a Ravager Thor as well. Oh my god, dude.
I gotta say, if it's actually King Valkyrie in the movie, I totally get it, because Valkyrie is like a tough person. So she's like, I don't want to be a queen. I want to be the king. All right. Yeah. I want to be the end all be all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. A couple things, man. Like Gore looks really weird compared to his comic book character. I don't want to knock it until we get to the actual movie and see the trailer and see him in the thing.
Yeah.
But I think Gore is one of the coolest looking comic book villains, and they use his black cape so much that it's a little bit disappointing that he's all white in this. So I don't want to knock it. Maybe he does like have an all black cape, but that eventually comes out. If you look at his sword, it's all black. But this, yeah, it's a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie.
Hopefully it's just like a type of like interchangeable thing. Maybe there's different variants, and like this variant that we see right here is just an all white variant, and they have other types of figures that have the black cape and even the hat, because like you don't even see the hat in the box.
True.
Oh wait, well you can kind of see it. Is it side? No, that's part of the back.
Interesting. They're calling Natalie Portman is actually Mighty Thor.
Yeah. Saw that.
Yeah.
So,
and you've got
that's a bit interesting.
2 heads with her toy there, so you could switch between. She's got the helmet on, and with it and without.
Dude, are you looking at Ravager Thor right now? They even made the toy jacked.
Oh, the toy's jacked to the moon, bro. Look at the size of those arms. They're bigger than his legs. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. I still can't believe that we haven't got the trailer, because last weekend, I think it was just after we finished our last episode of the podcast, I saw that some guy who was working in one of these trailer houses, who was working on that trailer, put up a fucking thing in his story going, Thor Love and Thunder trailer complete. Like, as in, it should be coming out soon. So I'm really surprised we didn't actually see it this week. They usually launch stuff on Monday, so I think real opportunity, I think they could drop it tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be the day.
I know that Hoffman is a huge Thor buff, of course, because of his logo. So I wanted to ask you, Hoffman, how do you feel about that Thor costume? And the bottom right.
I love it. This is kind of I don't know if they're going to go this direction or what, but this is kind of a riff on Rune King Thor. And I think it's a cool storyline to do. This is like Thor in kind of like his most powerful form. He's an absolute beast when he's in Rune King armor. And I like it. I think this is the only place you can take Thor. Like, there's not a lot of things left for him to do in terms of the comic books, right? Like, he has some more like cosmic outfits you could go into, especially like his kind of current variation where he has the 3 glowy dots on his front. Like, I would love to see that in the MCU. But yeah, I like Rune King Thor. I like the gold. I think this is riffing off of it's going to be him accepting his kind of Odin role. Odin wears golden armor, it's good. I'm sure they're going to tie in his father and the legacy of that, and him actually dealing with Ragnarok. Like he has not dealt with in-game stuff and Ragnarok. Like he still is coming out of his depression where he, went deep into it. And so he still has got to deal with that. And I'm sure, this is going to be him dealing with his father's death and then him becoming Rune King Thor with it and because of it.
So do you think we're going to see or hear any details about the Odin Force?
Yes. I especially think we're going to get a lot of Odin Force with because Natalie Portman's character and what the Odin Force means for other characters. Like she's able to pick up the hammer, and so she's Thor. Like because the Odin Force flows through her. I think we're gonna deal with that a lot. I just I love it. Like it's funny. Like everyone's pissed off that she's Thor, and it's like, well, I mean,
it's in the comics.
A fucking frog picks up Mjolnir. Calm down, everyone. All right, I think Natalie Portman could handle it. Like
Loki becomes an alligator. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I think we got that going on. I think Groot's there. Groot is also somebody that can pick up Mjolnir. He picks up what's the name of his new weapon? He picks that up, and he's not worthy, but he's able to pick it up. Or I mean, he is worthy. It's not like they touch on it, but in Endgame, when he picks up the thing to cut his arm off, that's him lifting Thor's weapon. Like he's worthy also.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're gonna there's gonna be a lot about the Odin Force, who's worthy. Maybe this is a way that they kind of introduce Beta Ray Bill down the line. I know we're talking about alternate versions of the Avengers. Beta Ray Bill would be a prime candidate for that type of stuff.
Good. Like even if they have to build him a new hammer.
Yes.
I want to see that gold hammer.
Oh God, yes. Let me see. Nova Scotia North is actually kind of interesting since wasn't Mighty Thor how he was first introduced. His comics were the Mighty Thor, were they not? He was known as the Mighty Thor when they first did it. But since then, especially in the comic books and stuff, anybody who's like the official Thor character, like Jane Foster, like she is called the Mighty Thor in the comic book series with her picking up Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know, I forget, but I don't know if like the Mjolnir is what ties people to the Mighty Thor title or what. But there is, there is canon about her being called the Mighty Thor.
Yeah, it has to do with the fact that the incantation that was put onto the hammer itself, those who are worthy to possess the power of Thor basically become Thor.
Yeah. So Captain America is the Mighty Thor.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
for that little bit of time.
Fuck yeah.
Captain Thor.
I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
So I'm very excited for the movie. Like Thor is my favorite. My girlfriend makes fun of me. She's like, you say that, but you fangirl over Captain America. I'm like, you don't understand though. Like, you don't understand. I don't have a Captain America shield hanging out in the house. I got Thor's hammer is in the house. Okay.
Bro, like there's something about Steve Rogers, like, and I'm not even American, like, but I was born there, but you know what I mean? I'm not American. I don't have that tie to Captain America like you guys do, but like there's something about Steve Rogers, man. It's just, he's the best. Like you just love him, like, and even like he's my favorite in Infinity War, and that moment where he's trying to fight off Thanos at the end is like one of my favorite moments of the entire MCU. It's just Steve, like just a man, like just trying to take down this Titan. Like it's just, oh man, it brings a tear to my eye, like thinking about it. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Rogers is the embodiment of the American dream, and Spike Lee, do the right thing, baby. Like, you gotta do the right thing. That's it.
Do the right thing.
Oh my God. There's a lady on my street who always yells at me to do the right thing when I'm speeding my car down the street. Slow down, do the right thing. This reminds me of the one time I almost hit a guy, and I stopped like right dead in my tracks, and the guy looks at me and he goes, "Don't hit me." Oh my God. They say like time slows down whenever your like adrenaline starts pumping.
Yeah.
He's still living there. It's like 30 seconds later. Don't hit me.
Oh my God. Tiny bit of Black Panther 2 news. I heard whispers that there could be the first appearance of Doom could potentially be in Black Panther 2.
That makes sense.
Oh.
And Sam Wilson in Panther 2 as well.
That also makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely see Dr. Doom being somebody who is like, oh, wait a minute. There's all this vibranium on Earth that's been hidden from us for all this time. How about I just go roll up there and try to get me some for Latvia or wherever he's from?
Yeah.
And like build my suit out because I'm trying to get some vibranium suit going on.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oof.
That'd be wild. I'd love it.
So good. I would love to see Doom just out of nowhere. Like even if they were like having this sort of conflict and they were so close to Latveria, and it's like Doom shows up and he's like, "What the hell are you guys doing? Like you're messing with my country now."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially if they're bringing in Namor, it's like 3 nations that weren't really known about or whatever, right? It's like these 3 make-believe nations all kind of coming to the head.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be cool, bro.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really like it. Did you see the thing Tyrese Gibson put out this week about Blade? I don't know if you want to try and pull it up. He put out, I don't know if it was like an Instagram post or a tweet or something, but he basically put up a picture of him, and then under the picture of him, he put up a picture of Blade, and I think he's trying to basically insinuate that he's going to have something to do with Blade, or Blade's going to tie into Morbius somehow, or something like he's trying to put something together basically. And I think a lot of people are just like, Jesus, Tyrese, you gotta stop, bro, because like, you know, the way like 2 years ago he put out that interview basically saying that, like, you know, he's in the MCU, and they're like, no, bro, you're in Sony, and he's like, no, I'm in the MCU. And then it was like, shit, did this guy just like let something slip about, like, you know, the multiverse or whatever that he shouldn't have? So a lot of people are laughing about it, saying like, oh, here goes Tyrese again, he's slipping up.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
That makes me so upset. I don't want Blade to be involved in Morbius at all, bro.
No, neither do I. I think they need to.
No, but they both have the same ailment. They're both Dampiers, which means they're daywalkers, and so it kind of makes sense to have them collaborate. But for the fact that, you know, Morbius became such a flop to the population, it just doesn't seem like it's going to work out anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like this is like the Simu Lee effect, where all these actors are like trying to will things into existence. You know, he famously tweeted Kevin Feige like, "Hey, you know, put me in a Shang-Chi or something.
Let's talk about Shang-Chi." Yeah.
Yeah, and then all these years later, he becomes Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And thank God, because, you know, it wasn't bland at all. So I think that all these actors are doing this. I just seen something from Jared Leto where it's like, you know, oh yeah, I would love Morbius to go up against all the 3 Spider-Men in a movie. I'm like, I'm sure you fucking would, bro. I'm sure you would. Yeah. They just made $1 billion while your ass is like pulling in under 100. Yeah. It's just like all these actors are like using social media as like their pitch decks now.
Yeah.
For agencies to work with the MCU, and I'm like, it's gotta stop, bro. Like, it's gotta stop. I don't want any of you here.
Well, that's the thing, Hoffman, is like, if they look alike, they're like, I could totally play that guy. And then that's when they put themselves up and they're like, I could totally make more money if I'd showcase myself looking like this guy. Maybe they'll hire me. Maybe they'll pick me up.
I'm just going to start walking around with like mutton chops and act like I just got roided out, bro. I'm like, oh, Kevin Feige, shink, what's going on? What are you doing? Anything fun going on this weekend at the barbecue? Huh, bub?
Oh my God. No, I'm trying to think now. Just to keep this anger going, Brie Larson.
Oh, this is love.
Brie Larson joins the Fast franchise.
Brie Larson's great, man. It just like the movie was just not that great. Like that's all it was. Like I swear, Brie Larson's fantastic.
She's so hated on social like right now. It's so funny.
You know, we put that up on our Marvelous Chats TikTok. If you're not on our TikTok, get there. I felt bad about making that one because I don't want to be known as somebody who hates Brie Larson. It's just like I just wanted to make the joke. Yeah. I love Brie Larson. I just wanted to make the fucking joke, okay? I just want to make people laugh. I don't mean anything I say.
Yeah, that's. I think we can all say the same thing. Like, you know, nothing I say about anybody is serious. You know.
She could spit in my mouth. I fucking love her, man. Like,
bro, speaking of the TikTok as well, that video, it was one of our more popular ones where we were talking about the Inquisitor and we were slagging him for having a fat head. Like that, I was like, no! I was like, no, why is that the one that pops off in the algorithm?
I just want people to know. I just make jokes. I mean nothing, okay? I want to make my friends laugh. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's the enthusiasm.
That's so good, dude. I love it. So good.
Oh man.
Try saying it in monotone, and even if it makes us laugh, maybe that'll do it.
Please. Then people might think I'm getting cast as Captain Marvel.
Oh my God.
Oh,
no. Got him.
Oh God.
Bit of DC news. So DC were big time in the news this week, just over this whole like Discovery overhaul thing. Did you see any of these articles about it?
I saw a couple of things. Everything's back on the table now, isn't it?
Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, not I don't know if they're like kind of like spoilers or leaks or whatever, but basically, we all kind of know the story. Zach got to do his last thing, but then they were like, we're shelving the Snyderverse. It doesn't exist anymore. We're replacing people. Ben Affleck's gonna die. All this sort of stuff. And now they're turning around and saying like, actually, maybe Ben isn't gonna die, because there's like an after credit scene where he's telling Barry to come and look for the Snyderverse, basically, that it exists. Barry, come find us, like, sort of thing. And Discovery have come out and said, look, we want to put a lot of work into DC. They're like, we feel that it can make money. It just needs to be utilized correctly. And they're 100% right. Like movies like Joker, movies like the Batman and stuff like that. If you do more content like that, it's gonna slap. And if you do content that, I know everyone's always like, they're trying to crack the multiverse at the moment themselves, and their extended universe is shit, but a lot of people are saying now, like, it's like with this movement into Discovery, it's like, should they use this as a time to do a full reboot, like, or should they try and save it? And it's like, part of me's like, yes, I think they should just reboot it, just cut their losses. But then part of me's like, oh, I'd love to see Cavill back. I'd love to see, like, proper money and effort and proper PR put into like revitalizing Superman. Like, everyone loves Henry Cavill. It's like, give him his fucking movie. Let him do Man of Steel 2. Let them do like World's Finest, or do something cool. Give Ben a proper send off, or let him come back if he wants to. Really feel like he might want to come back now, like with the fact that they're potentially lining up to like a cinematic version of like Crisis on Infinite Earths or something like that. Like, you could have then a primer take over at the end of it, and Affleck is back. Like, it's just, I'm not a fan of what they're doing with all this like Supergirl, like scratching out Superman and stuff. And like a thing that I heard there was that like by the end of the Flash movie, like Jason Momoa is going to be in a scene where he's going to say, who the fuck is Superman or something, and they're literally deleting Superman from existence in that timeline. And it's just like, why are you doing this? Like, it's like, oh, I know a Supergirl. Who the fuck is Superman? We've never heard of that. I've never heard of him. Like, so like they're literally trying to delete Henry Cavill, and it makes no sense to me. Like, they're
literally tailing off of No Way Home at that point. If you do that, I'm gonna say you're a No Way Home like wannabe.
Yeah.
Because they're literally doing the spell.
Yeah.
And getting rid of that. Like, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's
horrible.
It's so weird to me, but I have a lot of high hopes now, because it seems like Discovery really want to do some good. And I think they're like, look, we could see films like Joker and the Batman and stuff. They're clear success stories. Like, so it's like, let's focus on this. Let's try and build on this.
Yeah.
And I think DC could finally be in a really good place.
I hope so. It's just like it feels like they got so many movies coming down the line that are based off the Snyderverse that it feels like it makes no sense to get rid of it. And I'm somebody, and I stood on this hill that said, like, hey, once they can Snyder, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah. Like,
they don't want to do it. Snyder doesn't want to do it anymore if they can't his ass like that. Like, he came back and got the Snyder cut, and that's the swan song for DC, and he's out.
Yeah.
This whole new Discovery deal, I think, kind of resets the table. And maybe for like a Snyder comeback in a sense, if he's interested, I think Disney would, or not Disney, Discovery would be, all these big movie Ds.
Yeah.
I think they would be kind of open to the idea of it.
Yeah.
But I also still in the back of my head, we got J.J. Abrams out there lurking in the background, who they gave a ton of money to kind of reboot the DC universe and, kind of do a fresh start. And we haven't gotten a lot of news on that lately. He's been kind of quiet on it, like you probably should be if you're trying to, rebuild everything and plan it out. Because we know how well he's known for planning. So I don't know, man. I would not mind them giving Ben Affleck a Batman vs. Deathstroke type of movie that we know was rumored to be in production or pre-production. I would not mind them bringing Harry Cavill back and doing the Snyderverse. Like, it's enjoyable, and it's obvious. It's obvious that they're success stories because they got Aquaman going on, which was like $1 billion movie. You know, like it's people show up for the Snyderverse version of DC, and I don't think Discovery's gonna spend all this money to buy something and then cut off things that were making millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's clear that Cavill is a good Superman, like, and the movies have a very strong fan base. Fucking build on it, like, you know what I mean? Put some time and effort into it and just build on it. Like,
exactly.
Oh, it makes no sense to me, dude. Like, and again, like, it's like people joke about it, but it's true. It's like the biggest villains in the DC universe are fucking Warner Brothers. They are the biggest villain to DC. It's actually Warner Brothers. Like, it's insane. It's like they want to sabotage it for real. Like, I don't know if they were doing this on purpose to try and get a sale or something. Like, I genuinely don't know. Like, I cannot for the life of me, from a business point of view, think like why they were making the decisions that they're making. Like, it just, it seems like sabotage.
With the way that they're going with DC, I swear, like they just have this like fear of going outside of Gotham. Like once they do a couple movies here and there, they did Themyscira, they did, you know, a little bit of Metropolis, they did a little bit of Smallville, they showed, you know, Atlantis, they showed, like, it was getting interesting. We were seeing different parts of the DC universe that we haven't seen in such a long time. And I love Gotham. It's fun. But can we, like, there's other places in the universe that we can go to. Well, let's get off planet. Let's go Green Lantern. Let's go on to, like, you know, let's see the council. Let's you know, let's redo Green Lantern. Go on to different worlds, show the Lantern Corps, show how big DC is. Yeah. It's not all just Gotham. And I understand that Gotham has so many good stories, and I can't deny that. But at the same time, I want to see the rest of the stories outside of Gotham.
Well, like, even if you just talk about Gotham, like, if you've ever read a Batman comic, Batman is so much more than Gotham. You know, like, there's the whole storyline with like the God chair and stuff in DC. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's actually called like the Morbius chair. But basically they have this chair that whoever sits on it has like godly, like, knowing of all knowledge. And basically Batman sits on it at some point, and this is where he finds out that there's actually more than one Joker. And you're like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. There's fucking 3 of them. And I was like, and then they did a whole like comic run of 3 Jokers and stuff, and it was amazing. But like, it's like Batman is so much more. Like, Bruce Wayne is like one of the most, if not the most intelligent human being on the planet. Like, and do you know what I mean? Like, there's just so much story there to tell, and they never leave Gotham. Batman has never left Gotham in live action. He's never been more than a street level hero, and it's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Like, he is. Justice League, it's him and Superman. They are like the leaders of the Justice League. Do you know what I mean? And I think maybe if I'm just off what you're saying about getting into space, it's like build the Watchtower. Put the Watchtower on the orbit of the Earth, and then you open up space and you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, absolutely.
Like, I would love to see Metropolis in a real way. Like, you know, when they show Metropolis in the current DC universe, it just looks like New York, right? But like, when I think of Metropolis, it's got this like golden hue about it, right? Like, it's just majestic. And like, I don't think that we've really seen that in the movies, and I would love them to take a swing at that too, because I love Metropolis. It feels so grand and amazing with Superman in it. I just, you know, speaking of World's Finest, I just got done reading the first issue of the newest run of World's Finest. And it's just set in Metropolis, like, and it's gorgeous, man. The art is gorgeous, and even I don't even think Zack Snyder's captured it the right way.
Yeah.
I love when we, like, I know that the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern was terrible, but we actually went off planet. We went to Oa. Yeah. We got to see the Guardians of the Universe. Like, we got to see different beings within the core. Like, there's more to life than just Earth, and that's what I love about Green Lantern. It's like, it's an eye-opener. It's like there's other planets that need protecting.
Yeah, true.
And it DC, right, come on, Marvel. I'm getting crazy.
Yeah, fuck. I would love, this is why I kind of want a reboot of it, because it just feels like we're so in the weeds with Zack Snyder's universe. And like, I don't know how they get out of it. I don't know how they rearrange it to bring it back. But like, I love all the characters. I love all the actors who play the characters. Yeah. That's the hardest part. It's like, I don't want to lose Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
But like, I would like to see a cooler Metropolis. Like, how do you do that?
I thought when Zack first brought Metropolis in to Batman versus Superman, and it's like, oh my god, Bruce was there the whole time and he watched it happen. I thought that was just such an incredible start to that movie, because I was like, how the fuck do they do Batman versus Superman? Like, how does that work? And it's like, oh my god, Bruce was on the ground, he watched all the people die, and it brings him out of retirement and stuff. I thought that was just brilliant. I loved it. Like, you know, yes, that movie had faults, but the base storyline was fucking brilliant. It was brilliant, and just I loved so much of it. Like, loved so much of it. There was a couple of things that I didn't like, but you know, I think we're all on the same page there.
The only thing, like, I really did enjoy Man of Steel. I really had a great time. I think, you know, the plot at the end kind of like took a weird turn, but I was okay with it. After a while, I'm like, okay, it's a different take on how Superman is. The only thing is that, like, and this is just a little pet peeve of mine. When you're doing a movie that involves superheroes, I know you need to make your money back, but I don't need to see like an IHOP or like, you know, like things that are noteworthy that we've seen in real life in places. That's my only pet peeve. Like,
I know what you mean.
You see a Chevron getting destroyed.
Yeah, I think the best way they can reboot DC, and I would always love to see this, and I'm not a big DC person in terms of actually reading the comic books. Like, I love the characters, I love the games, I like their movies, but I've never been like a deep DC comic book reader. So stop me if we've done this.
Until now.
We started, baby. We're starting in.
Yeah.
Art was so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's so good, bro.
I would love to see a kind of year one Superman, and he comes on board as a superhero, and so he's strong, but he's making all these mistakes. But then you have like a fucking Batman character who's been doing it a while, right? So like Batman's older than him. And I would love to see that where Superman almost gets put into this Robin role, but then it gets kind of like turned on its head where it's like, oh yeah, he is like kind of Robin in terms of experience, but like he completely outclasses Batman in terms of like everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be the coolest storyline to like reboot a DC universe, where you start with like kind of a Ben Affleck type of character who's a little bit older, but then your Superman is going to be somebody who's coming in and they're like 18, 19 in that area. They're pretty young, pretty inexperienced type of deal. I would love that, to be honest.
That would be cool.
Yeah, like in the animated series where we see Superman in like just like a shirt and like jeans.
Yeah,
like I like that. I like that look of Superman. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, as great as that sounds, it's like, I just want to keep Cavill though.
Yeah,
really
and they need to give us a good Clark Kent. They need us to give us more of Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Stop giving us Superman. Give us Clark Kent. Like, you give us a lot of Bruce Wayne, and that's why Batman always works in movies. He always fucking does. And the reason Superman's hard, it's why the older Supermans were so fucking good, is like they gave us a lot of Clark Kent. And Clark Kent is a great reporter. He's a great investigator and gets, you know, to the bottom of things. And that's why he pisses off Lex Luthor. Like, that's a great story for them to build on, and they don't do it enough.
Mm-hmm.
DC.
Yeah.
Do you hear the rumor why Black Adam got delayed?
No.
So they're shooting a lot of Black Adam out of the Atlanta studios, and Guardians of the Galaxy is taking up literally every soundstage at full capacity all the time right now. And so Black Adam got pushed back because of Guardians 3.
Amazing.
Marvel's such assholes, bro.
I love that it's James Gunn as well.
Yeah, and remember we got those stories during Marvel was able to shoot stuff for Peacemaker because they're at the soundstage.
Yeah.
Doing Guardians 3.
We need our equipment back, please. We need to finish shooting.
That's so funny.
Oh, man.
That's so funny. I love it. I'd love for them to be able to just work together, like, you know, and it seems like maybe they can. Like, you know, when we heard that story of they shot that scene for Peacemaker using like Marvel equipment on Marvel stages and stuff, I'm just like, that to me is amazing, because it's like these two companies who the fan base, maybe not the companies themselves, but the fan base paint them as enemies, but they're not. Like, you know, they're clearly working together. Like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, it'd be hilarious though if like one studio, like they come out the doors and they're like, well, shoot, what do we do now? And you hear on the other studio where like Guardians 3 is going, and you hear just all the music that's playing from Volume 3 like it's a party.
Yeah. I mean, like, one of the first things that really got me into comic books was Marvel versus DC. I remember going through like a Kroger's, like some small supermarket up north, and like looking on the stand and seeing Marvel versus DC. These are just kind of names I heard. And then, because I knew the X-Men from the Marvel TV. And so I was like, DC versus Marvel. And I'm looking at the comic, it's like, Batman versus Wolverine and Superman's there. Like I'm like Storm's there. It's like it was all hitting for me.
Wild.
I would love to see them do a DC versus Marvel movie. It fucking $3 billion movie. It's the first one, baby. Give it to us.
Yeah. Well, I think what they need to do is like fix their own universe first. And that should give the incentive for Disney or Marvel to, collaborate with them. Like, hey, we see that you guys are doing well. Do you guys want to work together and make a big movie? And then it'll work for both of us. We'll both make a big hit. And then you continue your story from that point.
Mm-hmm. That'd be the way to reset the fucking DC universe. But like, hey, Kevin, let us reset their universe.
Like, what annoys me the most about this shit, though, is like they have a film there. They have the Flash. They have a superhero that has the ability to go back and change things, and they can literally create a Flashpoint universe and do whatever they want. Keep Cavill, new Batman, new Wonder Woman, whatever the fuck they want. They can do anything. They have the door is there, and they're choosing not to use it. Like it's kind of crazy. Like now I know, sorry, they are going to be rewriting the history, but they're doing it in the worst ways possible. And I hope Discovery get involved quick enough to maybe make some changes, because now they've pushed Flash into next year. Maybe this is why. Maybe that's why Flash got pushed into next year, because it's like Discovery are coming in and going, pump the fucking brakes here, guys. We have an opportunity to fix a lot of shit here. Like, what are you talking about removing Henry Cavill? Like, what are you talking about killing Ben Affleck? Are you fucking for real? They're probably like, pump the brakes. Let's do this right. This is our opportunity. Like,
Also,
like,
might have to do with fucking.
Well, Ezra as well, of course. But
Ezra Miller grabbing Michael Keaton's wiener.
Bro,
Jesus Christ.
Did you, like, this is a wild thing that I heard the other day, and I've always kind of known this, but never really thought about it, but they announced, so the CW Flash TV show with Grant Gustin, the Flash that everybody loves, that came out in, like, 2014. Two weeks after that show started, Ezra Miller was announced that he would be the live-action version of the Flash. 2 weeks into that show, 9 years ago, and now 9 years later they're about to start filming the last season, which is going to be like a half season of the Flash. So that show's ending, and they still haven't brought out the Flash movie. It's still not out. Like, it's fucking wild now. And like,
what a mess.
All the fans are like, this is the opportunity. Grant's about to finish up on TV. Why don't you do a Flashpoint thing where at the end of the movie Ezra looks in the mirror and he's Grant, and like the fact that he changed everything, just somehow, like, he looks at his hands and his hands start to morph, and then it's like, boom, he's somebody else, and it's Grant, and they let Grant take over in the movies. Like, it'd be incredible. I would love it. Like, just get rid of Ezra. He's a fucking he's a hazard waiting to happen.
He's fucked up too many times. Like, it's over. He's got to go.
He, for some reason, he won't, though. I don't understand it. Like, it's like, the whole like Amber Heard thing, and the whole Johnny Depp thing. It's like, they fire Johnny Depp off Fantastic Beasts, but they keep Ezra in that fucking film, and Ezra's done way worse shit than fucking Johnny Depp has. And I know Johnny's a much bigger name, and he brings the publicity, good or bad, but like, the guys like just got sacked like that straight away. Amber's still making movies. Yeah. She's worse than he is, and she's making movies for DC, like, and Warner Brothers. But they keep Ezra in the same fucking movie that they fire Johnny from. Right. Like, it's just wild.
Right. And then like the whole thing with Johnny too is that like it's false accusations as far as we know. Like, they're at court right now. They're trying to figure out about this defamation suit that's going on, because like, as far as they know now,
he's winning.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, it sucks so much that we love this guy, and just a few words turn everyone against him, and then it turns out it wasn't true.
Yeah, and it just sucks. And it is one thing where it's like, I don't think that the newest Harry Potter movie is doing that well at the box office.
No,
I think it's being like it's coming in under what they wanted. And part of that could be that the series just kind of sucks overall. But Johnny Depp probably would have brought a lot more people out to that movie, because he's Johnny Depp. He's one of the last movie stars.
He was really good in the second one. I really enjoyed him in that movie. And just the fact that they've recast him now. Probably a lot of people are like, fuck this, I'm not going to see this. I'm not supporting this now.
Yep.
And totally. and as much as I like Mads Mikkelsen, like, he doesn't have as much pull as Johnny.
No. Mads is great, but yeah, you can't just like recast Johnny Depp in a role, like, you know. And then you keep Ezra Miller in that movie, and he's fucking causing ructions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah. Oh, have you guys watched Halo?
No, I'm sorry. You know, I actually put on episode 3, and I kind of stopped watching it 20 minutes in. I got distracted, and then I was like, I'm turning this off. I'm not really watching it, and I had to get up and do something else. But yeah, like I'm just, I can't seem to keep my focus on it. Dude, was episode 4? Go on.
I watched 3 and 4.
Okay.
And I gotta say, at first, I was on board with you, where like I kept getting distracted. And when they introduced Cortana, when she finally got there, it felt like fucking Halo for the first time. And I actually kind of started enjoying the episode once Cortana was part of it. Yeah. And I understood what they were doing with Master Chief and opening up his emotions and unlocking it. I don't like the way they introduced Cortana, or like how she's inside of him, because now she's actually like drilled into his head instead of just an onboard computer.
Yeah.
Like I just don't understand why they do this stuff. So episode 3 was actually, I was in a pretty good place. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting sci-fi. I like it. I don't love it, but like I'm enjoying it. I'm hating it because it's supposed to be something else in my mind. Yeah. And then we get to episode 4, and I'm just like, fuck this thing again. Like I'm off. I'm just off, bro. Like I don't know.
It's just so bad.
What is it? Like, how did they get one good episode? And then they just knew what they were doing for one episode, and then they're just off of it. And like immediately in episode 4, he has his armor on, and like he steps on planet, and he takes his helmet off immediately, bro.
It was so ridiculous.
Dude. And my favorite part about this fucking helmet now is they got it hanging down. There's a shot, like a waist-high shot. He's holding his helmet, right? And then you see on the back of it, they got the fucking place where he puts the Cortana chip in. So why is that even there if you drill it into her fucking head? Oh, it just annoys me.
It's so annoying.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Hoffman, how did you feel though about Cortana being pushed aside so much? I felt like that was a real big like middle finger to Cortana's character. Like when she just showed up, she's like just trying to help, and they're like, "Yeah, go away, Cortana. We don't need you right now."
I like it. Because like Master Chief is kind of like that with Cortana at first, like a little bit, or not with her, but in the newest ones when he's got the new AI, I forget her name now, from the latest Halo, he's kind of like pushes her off. But and like he doesn't want her around, he doesn't want her interrupting. But when we meet Cortana and Master Chief in the first one, I believe they have history, if I'm remembering right, like they've known each other. So we pick up in the middle of their story, and this is like the beginning of that. What I don't like about what they do with Cortana is that they make her this like life-size projection, so she can be like a character in the scene, and it just makes no sense because like where's she getting projected from? Like it just like he's literally hanging out naked in a bathroom, or Cortana's just like, I'm right here standing next to you, John, and other people see her and stuff. It just it's weird. I don't get it. Like
other people could see her too, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's the future. It's the future, bro.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. They should just have platforms that she comes up on, like they do in the thing, you know, where like she has little AI docs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the fuck those worms were. What the fuck are the worms?
That I swear that's the flood, and I don't want to hear it. Like I don't want it. I don't.
They're disgusting. Like, and they have. It's like the Covenant aren't even part of the show. Like the story of Halo is Master Chief versus the Covenant, and then oh fuck, something else is going on. And the early days of the Covenant versus humans are supposed to be brutal, dude. They're supposed to be fucking brutal. And it's like we don't even get Covenant. We don't even get the Covenant. We see like 2 elites, and then we see the girl talking to the prophet guy or whatever. It's like give me the Eternal or the Covenant versus Master Chief. Because like, have we had a firefight? When's the last time Master Chief started popping off?
I know. I know. I feel. Yeah, I feel like you haven't seen Master Chief be Master Chief at all in the show.
No,
it's just John. It's just John. You know, it's not Master Chief.
We should have dropped off in the middle of the war, and like this, he's going off every episode, and then he's starting to like realize, oh wait, I've been lied to my whole life during the fucking war. Like that should be the story. But instead, it's like we fucking don't. He hasn't fired his gun in like 4 episodes, man. What the fuck is this?
Everybody else has fired their guns except for Spartans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like even the Spartans in episode 4, I was like, please don't take your helmet off, please. And then, like they had the moment where they were about to take the helmet off, and then it cuts, and I'm like, okay, well that's cool. Like they weren't going to show the face of the Spartan, and then immediately later they're like, okay, here's the Spartan's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's just aggravating, bro. It's just episode 3 gave me a little bit of hope, and that's why I didn't want to watch it, because I was actually kind of enjoying it. I was annoyed by a lot of it, but like when Cortana's voice was going on with Master Chief and they were going back and forth with one another, I was like, oh, this feels kind of like Halo. I kind of like it. And then nope. Like, there's a scene where Master Chief takes out a implant that's in his back that like subdues his emotions, right? And so you get scenes where it's like he's starting to experience things for the first time, seeing space for the first time, seeing big, flying like military ships, and he's like kind of awestruck by him. He's like, oh my God, like, he's starting to feel like a human, and that's kind of cool. Those are cool scenes. And then, like, just immediately, the next episode, we're back down to like, it's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Like Huffman, how do you feel about that side story with like the pirate and going back to like I just didn't care. I don't even remember their names. Yeah,
who gives a fuck? Like, this is Master Chief's story. Stick with him. Show him fighting Covenant. Show him dealing with his past. I could give a fuck about anything else going on that doesn't involve Master Chief. Mm-hmm. Like, you did not establish these characters well enough to make them intriguing to me. You just didn't. You didn't do the job. They're not intriguing in the slightest.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's all.
I feel the same way, man. Like, it just, that 4th episode was just... It could have actually been something. Like, they were getting somewhere with Master Chief. Yeah. And then when he took his helmet off, it's like, okay, we're getting somewhere with John. But the one thing I really hate is that almost every episode is like, Master Chief is the coolest. He's the greatest. We need him. He's the best. And like, yes, yeah, that kind of like it's Master Chief. It's Halo. But come on, man. Like, if you're trying to showcase everyone else, then don't make it sound like the show doesn't work without Master Chief.
Yeah. Yep.
Facts.
This is why I didn't want to watch episode 2. I did it because I love you guys, and Fento didn't even watch it.
I know, bro. I can tell you the exact moment I turned it off as well. It was like after they drilled into the clone's eye. I was just like, oh, I fucking hate eyes, and I was like, oh no, bro. I was like, I can't even look at that. And then I saw the first kind of glimpse at Cortana, and I was just like, whatever. I was already standing up. I was away from the TV and everything. Like, I was just like, nah.
Yeah. This is what doesn't make sense to me about some TV writing. Like, there's so much interesting story within Halo to tell, but then they have to go and make up this whole dramatic reason that we're killing off a human clone to drill Cortana into Master Chief's brain. And it's like a 10-minute sequence. Like, it feels like it's forever, man. And so, like, they're making this up, and it's not even needed. Like, this is needless drama that does nothing for anyone's character development. It does nothing for Master Chief's character development, does nothing for Cortana's, does nothing for Hazley. It's just killing off a human clone. You'd be like, this show's fucking wild. Yeah. And why?
Yeah. So one of the things I think is a really bad, like, continuity error too, is for the fact that if they drilled Cortana into Master Chief's like system, and now Cortana is part of Master Chief, and it's just like what we said earlier, why is she visible to everyone else then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
and like, there's fucking TVs all over. She could just project into a TV.
Yeah, I don't understand like why they needed to even create a clone. Like, I understand that they wanted to like use that brain or whatever, but like, we're in the future here. Could they not have just downloaded, what's her name, Halsey or whatever? If they could
Halsey,
they not Halsey, could they not just download Halsey's like thoughts into a computer, and then it's like, okay, that's Cortana. Like, it's like.
Well, they're not cloning, Finto. They're flash cloning. I'm like, oh god, please. Like, thanks.
Yeah. It's weak. It's weak. Yeah. I didn't have very many high hopes for it, to be honest, but it's weaker than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yes. They're just not giving you the goods. Like, it's such a layup to make a Halo show fighting. Like, everyone, I think, enjoyed even though the CGI was terrible, the opening to Halo was cool when Master Chief drops in. when the Spartans drop in, they're fighting the elites. They're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And the elites are like blowing people apart and stuff. You're like, oh, this could get good. And then it's been 3 episodes since then where we're getting no fighting. And I think this show's it's like 8 episodes or something. And so it's like, why? What? Hopefully the last 4 bangers, I guess.
Yeah, I will watch them. I will watch them.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, are they even going to attempt to show the Arbiter? And if they do, how much will I actually care?
Right. Yeah. And like, who the fuck is this girl that the Covenant are talking to? And like, why is she?
I think episode 3... I swear
that thing is the Flood.
Doesn't episode 3 start with, like, it felt like a 6 or 7 minute conversation between them, and I was like so uninterested in it that I stopped reading the subtitles. I was like, I don't even care what they're saying. You know, I'm like, why have you started an episode with like a 6 minute conversation between these people and we don't know who any of them are? Like, it's fucking stupid. Like,
and like the Covenant speak English in the fucking video games, dude. Like, why are we making this? Like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're cool. We made up our own language here. Like, it's like, fuck off.
It's like a mixture of Alien and French, because you could totally hear the French.
Yeah, yeah, it's
so dumb.
It is. It's so dumb. I only have one other thing I want to bring up tonight, so I'll talk about it now. We're actually close to the 2-hour mark, so it can be the last topic of the night, or if you guys have anything else, by all means, shout it out. But
I just have...
Go on.
After you finish with that, I just have a picture that I'd like to show.
Cool. Well, basically, it was just... So, do you guys know Jensen Ackles? He's going to be in the 3rd season of The Boys. So
yes, sir.
He was on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Shout Out Rosie, there a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned that he's working on a secret DC project at the moment. And
oh fuck.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's, again, it's all kind of up in the air, but a rumor hit Twitter during the week that he was going to be the next Green Arrow, that it was going to be Green Arrow that he was working on. And I love Jensen Ackles, but I'm kind of like, is he like Green Arrow worthy? Like, is this going to be DCEU? I don't know. Is it a new TV show? I don't know, but you know, because he's not really a movie star. He's more of a TV star. So I'm like, could he be a movie star? I don't know. Maybe. I've always kind of in my head thought, like, 'cause Green Arrow's probably my favorite character ever. Like, I love Oliver Queen, love Green Arrow, and I'm like, if I could picture somebody being the movie version of him, like, I love the TV show, I love Stephen Amell. But it's like, I think like Charlie Hunnam or someone like this would be a really good like version of him in the movies. Like, but people are saying, like, you know, potentially he could be like, they could do like a TV Batman, and Eccles could be Batman. So
he does do the voice.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He recently did a voice, and he in Under the Red Hood, which is probably one of the best animated movies that DC have ever put out. He's Jason Todd in that movie. So. He's definitely got a lot of voice stuff, but I think the rumors are that it's going to be something live action. So I'm very curious to see where that goes.
That's fun. You know, if he plays like a live action version of Batman, I think it works. You know, he might not look like Green Arrow in terms of, you know, his look, but I think he definitely can pull off the attitude of Green Arrow.
Yeah.
In a big way. And that's, you know, it's a bit of a rough deal to get those two types of things together.
Yeah.
Because even though Charlie Hunnam, you know, people are like Sons of Anarchy, he always he feels like a fake tough guy. Like, I'm sorry, bro, but he feels like he's too nice of a guy to pull that off.
Yeah.
And so Jason Ackles, like, he pulls off that like rough anti-hero pretty well.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, if you've watched Supernatural as well, he's got the whole kind of like womanizer kind of lady, like killer down, like, you know, like, and like he could easily just be pulling women left and right. And I think, just imagine like someone who looks like him, who's a billionaire, you know, billionaire playboy. Like, it's like, it works. Yeah, it works. And then he kind of looks like Stephen Amell a little bit as well, like kind of in like physique and stuff like that. So they could maybe try and model it on the CW show, like the first couple of seasons of that. So, yeah, I'm very excited. I love anything Jensen does. So. I'm very, very curious to see where that goes. So I'll be watching that one very carefully, and if there's more developments, I'll let you know for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, it's good. What were you going to say, Alex? What were you going to show us?
So I know how you're such a big Spider-Man fan, Finto.
Oh yeah.
And we're currently watching Moon Knight. So I saw this on.
I think I saw.
I think a
it as
website
well.
they were showcasing it. Have you seen this before? The Moon Knight variant.
No, sorry, no, I haven't.
Oh, yes. Is that Peter Parker or Miles Morales?
I can't remember, but like this is a Moon Knight variant with Spider-Man.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's crazy. I love it. Love it.
You should try. You should check it out. See if you can pick up the comic. See what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look on Amazon and see if I can pick that up on Comixology. I'll read the shit out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Moon Knight
Spider-Man crossover.
It just looks so cool. Like you can even see that there's web, like the moon rings are web wrapped.
Yeah.
You could throw them and get them right back.
Oh, that's amazing, dude. I love it.
I just got done reading the new Immortals X-Men 1. Oh my god, it's so fucking wordy.
Really?
Like it's too much?
Yeah, they got like Mr. Sinister's like the main character, and he literally has like fucking a paragraph of text every panel, dude.
Yeah, I love reading comics, but sometimes I'm like, oh, like, you know, there's too many speech bubbles, and you're nearly like, just get on with it. You know, I don't want to read a book here.
Yes, it's a little hard to follow at times when there's too many speech bubbles. You know, it's like,
especially if you read something in the wrong order, because you know the way sometimes I don't know if this happens a lot in Marvel, but it definitely happens in DC a lot. Like sometimes the way they draw it and the way they like split out the panels, sometimes I'll read the wrong thing. I'll move on to where I think I should be moving on to the next page. I actually should be reading the panel below. So sometimes I fuck the dialogue up in my head, and I'm like, oh, actually, sorry, I know this was meant to be said after that. So yeah, I fully understand what you mean. I'm mixing shit up all the time.
And I think that's why I like Comixology and Marvel Unlimited so much, because when you do it in, they move you. So like, and then even if you see the speech bubbles like populated, it's kind of made in a way where like you kind of know the flow of the text, so that you're not like getting all jumbled around.
I love Comixology, bro. Like I read my first run of Green Arrow on Comixology, and even reading this Moon Knight series now, like I just love tapping the screen. I read them on my phone, and it just kind of switches between, and like you see the faces and the bubbles and stuff, and it feels like I'm watching a cartoon or something. Like I feel like you're proper watching content, like rather than reading a comic book. It's great, love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. Guys, if there anything else, we're at the 2-hour mark, so I suppose we could break for the week if we don't have anything else.
I've got nothing.
I think we're good.
Nice. Well, we've got episode 4, Moon Knight, is on Wednesday. That's going to be a big one. And rewatch of The Batman. Maybe next week we could talk about The Batman again, if we all want to try, because it's out tomorrow. So if we all want to try and maybe do like a little rewatch and see what the second viewing feels like, that could be something cool to talk about in the next cast as well.
Fingers crossed we get a Thor trailer.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Man.
I feel like we will. I really do. I feel like we will. I'd be shocked if we didn't this week. So, yeah, there's going to be a good few bits. So, yeah, keep your ears to the ground as well about if you see any news. I loved all this little stuff you were pulling up this week. Hoffman was great. Loving it. Loving it, dude. It was great. So, I apologize. I apologize to anybody who may have been listening to us on Spotify, because there was a good few visual aids this week. So maybe head over to the YouTube and watch it there.
I'm a working man now. I got a lunch break to do stuff.
Let's go. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Easter, and I'll see you next week.
Later, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Later, everyone.
See ya.